later we married.
I asked her, okay, can I start my story now?
Well, they were just if he's asked him.
Yeah, I think we're done so far on that.
Okay,
So,
all right.
from your side, how did we get from there?
Okay, from there, I went in the Navy. I had not, when I wrote that letter to her, I had not even met Georgia at the time.
Okay.
Okay, which that's fine. I mean, I understand why she was so upset.
Right.
But I had met her, but I met her later, and I did not know that she had wrote Mother and told her that we were engaged to be married. Well, while I was out at sea, when we were out at sea and by Vietnam, we'd get our mail once a week.
Okay.
And they would bring, a helicopter would come in and drop our mail off, and we'd get our mail. One week, I got a letter from Georgia. It said she was getting married. I said, okay. I threw it over. And then the next week, I got a letter from her. The letter she had wrote, that's scaling me. I mean, just whoopie-doo me all over the place. And so I read it, and I thought, well, okay. So I threw it overboard. I wish I'd kept it, but I didn't. We would have had fun with that.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I threw it overboard. Okay, well, we was overseas until August the 3rd.
Okay.
That in 1964. And so when we came in August 3rd, I had leave set up. And so I come home on leave, flew home from Los Angeles, and Daddy picked me up, and he asked me on the way there, you gonna go see Linda? I said, no. She told me she didn't want to ever see me again, so I'm not gonna go. And I had no intentions of it.
Right.
I mean, my feelings were hurt, just like her feelings were hurt.
Yeah.
But you told the guy on the ship with you, I'll be married when I get back.
Well, I was teasing. I really was, because I had no idea that I would.
Right.
But I told old Harry McKay, I said, I'll be married and I come back. And he said, Jim, you're crazy. I said, no, I'll be married and I come back. And I had no idea that I was really going to.
Right.
But anyway, I got home and done that. I mean, Jay Baker come by that morning. It was on a Tuesday, I think it was. I got in on Monday night. Tuesday morning, he come to the house, pick me up. Sleeping on the couch. And he come back and said, get your clothes on, you going with me. I said, okay. So I got up, got my clothes on, and I had no idea what he was doing. I knew he was going to pay on the rings he had for Sandy.
Right.
I knew that, but I didn't have no idea what he was doing. And he come here, we went right through Murphy's, and I thought, oh, I know where we're headed now. And we got there, and she stood there looking at me, and I looked at her. Baker went on and paid on the rings, and I stayed there and talked to her, and that's when I asked her to go out with me. Then Billy Joyce and Clifton on Friday. This was, I think, it was on Wednesday. And anyway, on Friday, I went and picked her up, and we went to Billy Joyce and Clifton's, ate supper, played the game of life. Is what we did. And then we drove to the house, sat in front of the house, and asked her to marry me. She said, yeah.
So how many days? Okay, so how many days were y'all, I guess, back together that you proposed? Like
One day. That night, matter of fact.
Really?
That night. First time I'd taken her out. You know, I ate lunch with her.
Yeah.
On
Right.
Wednesday or Thursday, whichever it was.
Right.
Then on Friday, I went and picked her up and then went to Billy Joyce's. That was my first date with her. And I asked her to marry me. She said she would. And
Was there any like hesitation or anything?
Not at all.
So it was just like you knew.
Yeah. Well, even though I wasn't really living right during that time, I would pray because I really thought a lot of them crazy about it.
Right.
And I just told the Lord, because I was writing to this Bill Cosby guy and the service and stuff.
It ain't Bill
No,
Cosby,
no,
is
not
it?
that one. And so I just told the Lord, I said, God, if we're not meant to be together, not Bill Cosby, but him,
Right.
then take all these feelings away. I said, I don't want these feelings if we're not supposed to be together. And over time, I felt those feelings lessen. But then as soon as I looked up, and there stands him and James Baker, I knew they were all still there.
Right.
But they really had just kind of been squashed a little,
Right.
but they were all still there.
Okay.
So,
And,
so he asked me to go have lunch.
on your side, I mean, you never lost. I mean,
No, I loved her all along.
right.
But I know I didn't act like it,
Right.
but I did.
Right.
And so when that bothered me so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the other letter, I couldn't care less.
Right.
One with she was just a girl to go with when I was in California.
Right.
I didn't care that much for her at all, just liked her,
Right.
being with her and all that.
Just
And we didn't go
companion,
together but 1 or 2 times
Right.
the whole time.
So basically, just a companion.
Just somebody
to hang out with.
to hang out with, really. But anyway, I never lost the feelings that I really had for her from the time that I was 11 years old up until then.
Right. So basically, then, did y'all have? You have 2 weeks to get everything together and
Right.
all of that stuff.
And we
Get
had-
her dress.
And we had
Get
we had a very nice wedding.
Yeah,
Really?
you seen the pictures?
Yeah.
before, ain't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
We just got busy and
got it done.
got it done. I mean, I was working on Murphy's. Of course, everything, well, according to price, is about the same, I guess. But I bought my dress at Sears, put no layaway, paid it out. Him and his family took care of the flowers from Daryl Witzel. Took care of all the boutonnieres.
Whoa, the same one that you buy from?
The same
Used to
one.
buy it from. We
The
don't
same
Right.
one, yeah. But it's still there.
My
I mean,
goodness.
new owners, but it's still there. But yeah, I got all the flowers from Daryl Witzel. We didn't back then didn't have rehearsal suppers
Sure.
and all that kind of stuff, so we didn't do that. But we had the church on Saturday night,
Okay.
so we get married before service.
Oh, really?
Go to his the reception is at his mom's house,
Okay.
so we go on over to Stanley Lane. So we go on over there, and they have church. So when church is over, then the people come
Right.
for our reception. That's
Yeah,
just,
we
that's
Ain't
just
gonna
how,
miss, ain't gonna miss church.
that's just
all
how
day.
you did things back then. If you're going to marry on Saturday night, you just going to marry before church or after, because they were going to dismiss church for you
Yeah, they didn't.
at all.
And two, whenever I was dreading so much talking to Brother Davis, because I knew how he felt probably about me.
Brother Davis. Oh,
My
right.
dad.
Yeah, okay,
and,
sorry.
And how Mama felt.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I went up to him and I said, Brother Davis, I said, I want to marry Linda and I want your blessings. He said, she's 18, she can do what she wants. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was an age, you know, thing.
Right.
And I said, okay. I said, I understand that, but I still want your blessings.
Right.
He said, okay. Go ahead.
And Brother Johnson had gone to talk to him.
So the part that I hadn't understood before that I do now is that both y'all were were out of church at the time.
Right.
So then, after y'all get married, y'all then moved to California, Long Beach, California, because that's where you were stationed at the time.
Right.
I know we're kind of rehashing a little bit what we talked about earlier, but it's for. Okay, so you were here for 2 weeks after the wedding, then? Okay. So then you moved to Long Beach, California. How long then were you in the service?
From August, I think she come out there in September. Okay. It was in September. Because James Sandy, I was still on leave in September. And they got married in September, and I went back. And after I went back, we talked a couple times, and then she rode the bus out there. She was telling me earlier about riding the bus.
Right.
And all that. She rode the bus out there, and we stayed there until January, I think it was. And yeah, when you came home, either January, early February, but it was, I think it was January. She stayed out there then, and then Dennis Miller, one of the guys I was on the ship with, his wife, he was bringing her back because he was getting out the same time I was. We were both getting out on March the 3rd, and anyway, he brought her, Linda, and his wife back to Texas, and he let her out here, and he went on.
Right.
And she got a house and furniture. I think, how much was that furniture? $49, wasn't it?
Giant furniture store, and if you bought one set, there's living room set or whatever, get the other set for 9 cents.
Wow.
His bedroom suite and the living room.
Yeah, got them both.
Good grief. That'd be nice.
But like you say, salaries back then were
Yeah,
almost nothing, so
Yeah, I made $18 a month.
A month.
maybe
$98.
98.
I was gonna say that's.
Yeah, and
That's
then
tough.
I got a, what they call allotment.
Yeah, they
Allotment
got
check.
a lot of it. But
Okay.
I made $98 a month when I got out of the Navy.
Okay.
And so I come home, and she prayed through.
Okay, so now back to that then.
Okay.
So you stay in California for a while, and then you told the Lord that if you ever got back home,
Right.
that you would come back to church and start serving the Lord
Right.
and all that. So take me through that.
Okay, so I did. As soon as I got home, I stayed with Nanny and them some and with my parents some.
Okay.
But my parents had moved where we lived when I got married. Then they moved to Sun Valley, and I actually lived there for a little bit. And then when I moved to California, they actually built a house out in the country. And I never lived out there. But I made up my mind when I got back here, I went straight back to church.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in church ever since. That was 1965.
Yeah, 65.
1965.
And-
went back to Brother Johnson's.
Okay.
So when I got home, she was in church.
How did you feel about that?
Well, I thought, well, I guess I'll do things by myself. And I did,
Yeah.
until after your mom was born. She was born in February of 66, and I got the Holy Ghost in February the 13th, 1967.
So almost a year later then.
Yeah, that I prayed through. And
Okay, we want to know this. I definitely want to hear this story.
Well,
Because I've heard it.
I remember.
I've heard it before, but I definitely love hearing it again. So.
Okay, well, mother called one day, and she was having some heart problems. She had a heart murmur, and that was heart problems, and large heart. And mother called, wanted me to bring her to church. Told her she'd go to church she wanted to, but I wouldn't bring her. And I said, well, let's come back and pick her up or whatever. I said, you go to church. I said, but I'm not bringing her. She called me back. Said, James, I want you to bring Linda to church. I said, Mother, I'm not going to bring her to church. And so the third time she called me, said, would you at least bring her to the door of the church? I said, yeah, I would. So I took her. We drove to Wiseburg Street, parked in front of the church. And as we go on to the show,
So when you came back, you went back to the Johnson's church.
But they were revival at Wiseburg Church. That's why I was going.
Okay.
yeah, but we was Brother Vincent.
So at this time,
Yeah, revival.
Pappy had his church and Brother Johnson had his church
Yeah.
at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, they
Fellowship back and forth.
Yeah, they always did that anyway.
Right.
And so I took her to the door of the church, and I was going to leave and go to the show. She said, well, show won't go on for a while. I want to come on in. I said, okay. Got up, went inside, and sat down. And God got a hold of me.
Who was singing?
There wasn't nobody saying.
Oh, I thought there was somebody singing.
Well, he would not want to come in if Dolores and Della was singing.
Yeah, that's a different,
Because he knew.
different story.
Oh, okay.
He knew what was going to happen then.
But there wasn't nobody singing.
Okay.
I just got up, went out.